Welcome back everyone to the Paldea Pokemon Review. Today we're going to be talking about Clodsire. Now, just taking a look at its stats, we can already see that Clodsire is an incredibly bulky Pokemon. With 130 in HP, 100 in special defense, a bit low with only 60 in defense, but we'll probably invest into that later, and at least a medium amount of attack in 75, and being incredibly slow. This is definitely the normal type of spread on a lot of more bulky Pokemon. Now, to get into two of his main abilities. So the first ability that he has is Water Absorb. As for those who don't know, Water Absorb, literally just you absorb any water type move, and if you get hit by it, you'll heal 25% health. So this is already an incredible ability, as it covers one of his few weaknesses. And on the off chance, if you have like a very good offensive fire type, or just a good offensive Pokemon weak to water, Clodsire then is just a free switch in that's immune to that. You can make a read and protect your offensive Pokemon from taking those big hits and getting KO'd. Now, his second ability is also very good, called Unaware. Unaware is an ability that just ignores your foe's stat changes. So if your opponent's set up to maximum attack and it tries to hit you, it's only going to hit you as hard as it normally would if it had no stat boost at all. So already, being incredibly bulky and then being able to ignore your opponent's stat changes is an incredible way to break Pokemon with a bunch of setup, Pokemon that have setup, and to break them down and try to take them out. Now just to go over some EVs, honestly, with how good his special defense is, for the most part, I think most sets you're probably just going to run here is 252 in HP and 252 in defense. As especially once the HP is up too, his special defense should definitely be able to take a lot of moves. Now in terms of real move sets that he gets and stuff, I mean, that's completely up to you. As being a tank, Clodsire has so many diverse moves that work well with being a tank. That's incredible. Clodsire gets all hazards of Stealth Rock spikes and Toxic spikes, so already you can have a hazard center while tanking hits. It gets Toxic if you want to status the other Pokemon. It also gets Yawn if you want to put another Pokemon to sleep or force a switch. In terms of setup, it does get Curse. So if you do want to then just actually try to use them somewhat offensively, you can use Curse to boost your attack and defense and then try to hit with moves like Gunk Shot and Earthquake. Or Body Press on top of that too. And then again, on top of more shutting down offensive sweepers and stuff like that, he also gets incredible moves like Counter, which doubles damage inflicted by physical moves back onto the opponent. It gets Recover to get health regen. Haze, which will just eliminate all stat changes on the field, meaning that not only does he already ignore the stat boost of another Pokemon, but he can then just wipe them out right there if you want to switch back out to a different Pokemon, and then you won't have to worry. Honestly, what you want to do with Clodsire is up to you. There's so many ways to use him, and with all these different moves, Clodsire is definitely a very versatile tank with a lot of applications, and you can pretty much just fit him to what your team needs. If you already have a Pokemon with some hazards, maybe you run him with more setup so he's still bulky and tanky, but then maybe you set him up with a Curse set so he can still do some offensive damage too. Maybe your team doesn't have hazards, so you set him up to do that. Again, Stealth Rock Spike and Toxic Spikes, pretty much you got it all right there. Or again, too, even, you can just use him as a giant wall to counter any other offensive sweepers and try to shut them down. That's going to be all for this video. If you like the video, make sure to leave a like. And if you're into this kind of stuff, make sure to subscribe. I got a bunch of battle videos starting to come on the way soon. I'm going to be covering the Charizard 7-star raid. We're going to be going over the 4 legendaries in the next 2 days. So I'll have guides for all 4 of them, 2 tomorrow and 2 on Tuesday. And yeah, and then that's all for this one. I'll catch you in the next video.